Now, the state is expected to conclude its forgery case against Department of Health Communications Deputy Director Sizwe Kupelo, and he's charged with the forgery of his matric certificate when he applied for his position as a Deputy Director of Communications at the Department of Health. SABC News reporter Sidima Mfeku joins us now for more details on the story. Sidima, the story a long while coming, so perhaps just a brief background for our viewers, and then, of course, what's to be expected in today's proceedings.
A very good morning to you, Sakina. And this story dates back to 2021 when the supervisor to Mr. Sizwe Kupelo, Mr. Sianda Manana, had started investigating. Well, in fact, he started the investigation into the qualifications of most of the staff at the Department of Health's communication. And he says that when he was testifying in court, he did say that when in 2007, when he started in that position as a Director of Communications at the Department of Health, he started he started a mission to try and get to see how qualified is his staff and how best can he improve, their skills in the department. And when he was in the beginning of that process was the collection of people's CVs and qualifications, and he had learned then that Mr. Sizwe Kupelo had a matric certificate, but did not complete his communications degree. He says that he then called Mr. Sizwe Kupelo to say that he should work on furthering his studies, but he says that Mr. Sizwe Kupelo did not, partake in that mission to have him enrolled at an institution of higher learning in order for him to further his studies. He took it to as far as 2021 when he says that he learned from someone in the department. He got tipped off that Mr. Sizwe Kupelo's qualification was not a valid one. In fact, he did not have a matric certificate, and when he did his investigations, he had collected a couple of other matric certificates to compare if there is anything flawed about Mr. Sizwe Kupelo's qualification. He says that he had noticed that the names on the matric certificate were a bit skew, something that he had felt that it's very uncommon in matric certificates. But then he took the matter further and consulted Umalu, and that's when he learned that the matric certificate belonged to Mr. Ngatyanji, who also came to court to testify and said that he did not know why, in fact how this had happened. He agreed or admitted to knowing Mr. Sizwe Kupelo from his high school. He said that they studied together and confirmed that some of the marks the marks that were on the certificate were in fact his, but the name on that certificate was not his. And so the defense had come on to say that Mr. Sizwe Kupelo never in fact submitted the matric certificate when he was applying for his position as the Deputy Director for Communications in the Department of Health, and they admitted that Mr. Sizwe Kupelo in fact does not have a matric certificate, and it is for that reason that he never used that matric certificate to apply in the department. We were expecting yesterday to hear the conclusion of the state's case in this matter, but because there was an application that was made by the defense to have an affidavit that was submitted in court by a human resources director who had spoken about in that affidavit, was speaking about the amount of money that the department would have lost in Mr. Sizwe Kupelo's employ, because the state could not prove certain aspects of this, because the court was saying that there needs to be at least 7 points that have to be proven in court that this particular affidavit is very important, but because the state could not prove all 7 of these pointers, then the state approved the application by the defense not to admit that affidavit in court, and the state now is expected to bring someone from the Human Resources Department of the Department of Health who is going to speak or tell the court about the amount of money that the department would have lost during Mr. Sizwe Kupelo's tenure at the Department of Health.
Well, thanks so much, Sidima Mfeku, for those details. And of course, we'll be bringing you the developments as they unfold in that particular case.